Look at it burn! I warned you the cooling system was unstable. Now we've lost the engine!
You know how storms always seem to hit right when everything matters most. That was us. Rain lashed across the private runway, the sound hammering the metal roof like accusations I couldn't answer. I was Amelia Hayes, 34, CEO of Hayes Aerospace, and my $120 million jet was dead beside me, grounded before a crucial peace summit. 3 elite engineers had failed. The clock ticked down to the deadline for a $5 billion contract that meant everything. Failure. It was a cold, familiar word, the same word that took Daniel, my fiancé, 3 years ago in a test flight. It taught me never to trust machines, or people, completely. Around me, my engineers in their crisp white coats looked defeated. The systems are perfect, my lead engineer stuttered. It's like something we can't see is wrong. Then find what you can't see, I snapped, my voice sharp enough to cut metal. But even as I said it, the fear was rising. That's when Raymond, an older maintenance man who'd been with the company forever, approached. Miss Hayes, he said quietly, there's someone I know. A man who once fixed a Raptor engine by hand when every computer said it was gone. Name's Marcus Thorne. He works on old trucks now, but he was one of the best aircraft engineers in the country. I wanted to refuse, wanted to trust the degrees and the salaries. But pride, I'd learned, was expensive. Call him, I sighed. 15 minutes later, a dented, old blue truck rolled through the security gate. A man stepped out into the rain. Marcus Thorne. 36, oil-stained grey jumpsuit, work boots, and a face that looked older than his years. He moved through the storm like weather was just another problem to solve. He stopped in front of me, rain dripping from his dark hair, and met my eyes, calm, steady. You called for me, he said, not a question. My jet won't start. Raymond says you can fix it. Marcus looked past me at the Falcon X90. Give me 15 minutes with the engine. Alone. My engineer scoffed, but I nodded. 15 minutes. Marcus climbed the maintenance ladder and opened the engine cowling with the ease of someone who had done it 1,000 times. The engineers watched, arms crossed, waiting for him to fail. I watched, but for a different reason. There was something in the way he moved, gentle, precise, that reminded me of my father. He didn't use a tablet or a diagnostic tool. His hands moved over the engine like a doctor examining a patient. Then, he stopped. His fingers rested on a valve housing. He closed his eyes. Here, he said quietly. Someone over-tightened the pressure regulator. The threading is stripped. It's reading closed when it's actually hemorrhaging microfractures into the secondary line. My lead engineer scrambled up, scanning the component. His face went pale. How did you feel it? The vibration is wrong, Marcus said. Machines talk if you listen. 10 minutes later, the part was replaced. Marcus turned the ignition relay himself, and the Falcon X90 roared to life, smooth and perfect, as if it had never been broken. I walked to him as he climbed down. Where did you learn to do that? I learned by losing everything that mattered, he said. The last time I trusted this industry, it killed my wife. The words hit me like a blade. But I pressed on. I need someone like you. I have a project, the Phoenix engine. It's classified. High stakes. I'll pay you 3 times what you make now. I don't work in aerospace anymore. Then help me make sure it doesn't kill anyone else. He stood in the rain for a long moment, his shoulders tense. I have a daughter, Chloe, 7 years old. She loves airplanes more than anything. If I do this, I do it for her. Not for you. Fair enough, I agreed. 1 month. The next morning, Marcus walked through the glass doors of Hayes Aerospace. He wore the same jumpsuit, carried a worn leather tool bag, and looked completely out of place among the marble floors. I led him to the underground facility where the Phoenix engine prototype sat. Massive, gleaming, beautiful. You're designing it wrong, he said instantly, after walking around it once. That's when Robert Vance, my VP of engineering, walked in, tall, silver-haired, radiating contempt. A consultant, he sneered. Amelia, this man looks like he fixes lawnmowers. We have 80 engineers working on this. Maybe your 80 engineers are looking at the wrong problem, Marcus said, meeting Vance's gaze without flinching. Leo stays. I cut in. That's final. Over the next 2 weeks, Marcus worked 18 hours a day. He stripped systems and taught my engineers things their textbooks missed. He taught me too. One evening, I sat beside him, grease on his forearms, and confessed my own failure, losing Daniel to a control system malfunction that was covered up as user error. Machines don't kill people, Marcus said, his eyes kind. Greed does. Shortcuts do. Arrogance does. But if you're willing to listen, really listen, then maybe we can build something different. He guided my hand to the turbine casing. Close your eyes. Feel that? That's the engine breathing. Every machine has a rhythm. If you learn to feel it, you'll know when something's wrong before any computer does. I looked at him. You really love things that can be fixed. I love things that can be fixed, he confirmed. It's people that scare me. I smiled. Me, too. I fell asleep that night, still feeling the faint, steady vibration of the engine's heartbeat on my palm. I thought I had found an engineer. I hadn't. I had found a truth-teller. The Phoenix engine test was scheduled for a Thursday morning. I was in the control room, my heart pounding, but steady. I trusted Marcus. That was enough. The engine roared to life, running flawlessly, for 3 perfect seconds. Then, without warning, the pressure spiked. Alarms screamed. Fire erupted. Shut it down. I screamed. Technicians scrambled. The engine died, sending smoke billowing. I saw Marcus stumble back, his arm raised against the heat. I burst into the test chamber just as he emerged, coughing but alive. I'm fine, he said, his eyes hard and angry. That wasn't mechanical failure. Someone sabotaged it. The fuel mixture was altered. That kind of failure doesn't happen on its own. Before I could finish processing, Robert Vance walked in, flanked by 2 board members, his expression falsely grave. Amelia, he said smoothly, I think Mr. Thorne made an error and is trying to deflect blame. The board is voting to remove him. Effective immediately. I looked at Marcus, his face blank. Then I looked at Vance and understood. Get out, I said quietly, my voice steel. All of you. Now. They left. Only Marcus remained. You should let me go, he said softly. It'll be easier for you. I'm a liability now. Easier. I laughed, a broken sound. You're the only person in this building I trust. I don't know how to prove you're right, but I know you are. But Marcus was gone by nightfall. I won't drag you down, he had said, leaving only an address for Chloe and a final warning. It wasn't your machines that killed people, Amelia. It was the lies. Don't let them make you lie, too. I stood alone in the test chamber, surrounded by ruined metal, and let myself cry. Not from fear, but from fury, because he was right, and I had let him walk away. For the next 72 hours, I didn't sleep. Victoria, my head of security, and I went through every log. On the 3rd night, Victoria pointed at a timestamp. Someone accessed the Phoenix control system remotely at 2:37 a.m., 3 days before the test. Used an admin credential. Whose? Yours, which means someone cloned your credentials. The access came from inside the building. Office 212. Robert Vance's office. My blood ran cold. My father's friend, the man who comforted me at Daniel's funeral. Victoria pulled up the damning contract. Vance was set to receive a $20 million consulting contract with DragTech, a Chinese firm trying to acquire our Phoenix technology through bankruptcy auction. I drove a black SUV straight to Marcus's small house in the suburbs. I looked exhausted and furious and maybe a little beautiful. I handed him the tablet showing the DragTech contract and the remote access logs. It was sabotage, and I know who did it. Marcus read the files, his hands tightening. He was going to destroy your company. He was going to destroy you first. I need your help, I said. The board meets in 6 hours. I'm going to expose him, but I need someone who understands the technical side. At 9 a.m., the boardroom was tense. I stood at the head of the table. Beside me, in his cleanest jumpsuit, stood Marcus Thorne. Robert Vance narrowed his eyes. Amelia, what is he doing here? He's here to tell the truth, I said. I played the security footage. I showed the DragTech contract. No, I cut through the room like a blade. You made mistakes. starting with thinking I wouldn't notice you sold us out. Marcus stepped forward. He pointed at the screen, now showing technical schematics. The Phoenix engine uses a closed-loop fuel management system. To cause the kind of failure we saw, someone had to remotely access the control software and alter the fuel-air mixture. That requires admin credentials and detailed knowledge of the engine architecture. You had both. Vance's face went grey. He was trapped. Victoria stepped forward. We have keystroke logs showing exactly what commands you entered. We also have recordings of your calls with DragTech. The board voted unanimously. Robert Vance was escorted out. Afterward, as the chaos subsided, Marcus revealed something deeper. When Rachel died, he confessed, I found out later your company was an investor in AirTech. I thought you were part of it. I almost walked away the moment I found out, he continued. But then I did some digging. After Rachel's death, you spent 2 years investigating AirTech. You filed complaints with the FAA. You used your own money to fund a legal case for the victims' families, including mine. You gave us $600,000 anonymously for Chloe's future. I never knew it was you. I felt tears on my face. It wasn't enough. You didn't kill her, Amelia, he said, holding my hand tight. You tried to get justice for her. You're not like them. You never were. We sat there as the sun set. 2 broken people, holding each other's hands, realizing we weren't so alone after all. 3 weeks later, the Phoenix engine test was flawless. I stood at a simple podium, announcing Marcus's promotion to chief engineer of Hayes Aerospace, and the establishment of the Carter Foundation, a scholarship fund for children of aerospace workers. I walked to him and handed him a small box. Inside was a silver wrench, beautifully crafted, engraved, to the man who fixed my heart. I don't, he stammered. Just stay, I said softly. The final test came when we boarded the Falcon X-90 together. Me, Marcus, and Chloe. As the engines roared to life, smooth and perfect, I realized Marcus had been right all along. Trust was tangible. You know what I learned from you. I asked him over the engine noise. That some things are worth fixing. Not because they're broken, but because they're worth saving. I learned that from you, too, he smiled. The jet climbed higher into the golden light, carrying us forward. I looked at Marcus, his hand finding mine, and for the first time in my life, I didn't fear the future. I welcomed it. Broken things, engines, hearts, lives, could always be made whole again if someone cared enough to try. So, here's my question for you. What's the one lie you've believed about failure that you need a truth teller to fix? And tell me, honestly, if you were Amelia, would you have chosen to trust the mechanic with the bad past and fire the VP with the flawless credentials? Let's talk about the difference between credentials and character. Like and subscribe for more stories about second chances and finding hope where you least expect it.